They want me to change, they want me to change, but I ain't changing, nah. I remain the same.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by M3S3 Clothing. Men make moves and suckers stand still. And hold on, my bad. I don't know why I got a motherfucking echo. What we doing here? Oh, my bad. Anyway, man, let me get back to it. And let me see what we doing on I have trouble streaming this make possible stream with indoor lead on Facebook. We'll keep trying to let you know if it resolved. For whatever reason, it's not streaming on Facebook. They ain't really giving me a reason, and that's cool. Anyway, man, you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by M3S3 Clothing. Men make moves and suckers stand still. And as always, on the mighty Nerf TJ's Radio Network. Sorry for the snafu and the confusion in the beginning. That was completely and utterly my fault. As I am old, sometimes I fuck up. Players do that. And what I end up doing is I had the YouTube running at the same time as the StreamYard, and I was hearing myself twice. Shout out to Black Gun Owners Magazine. Yo, man. Hey, if you need any information on black gun ownership, you trying to find an instructor, you trying to find a black owned, whatever in the pantheon of gun ownership, Black Gun Owners Magazine on IG is your source. First, last, and in between. I'm telling you, you cannot possibly thank the brother for everything that he does, man. And this is a topic that I try to make sure that I always shed some light on in our community, and not just black gun ownership, but responsible black gun ownership. I want people out there to be legal. I want people out there to be safe, and I want people to be out there ready. Because you never know when the shit's going to hit the fan, especially in our community, and some of the threats that we have to face on a daily basis, especially coming from WS, if you know what I mean. If you don't, you should. It should not be that difficult to figure out. Anyway, if you want to get trained, we can find you somebody. If you want to buy a firearm, matter of fact, Tom Dixon will be your guy, and that's who I'm interviewing tonight, man. It's not too many brothers or sisters that actually own a gun store in this country, and Tom Dixon is one of them. I'm just waiting on the brother to tap in. He did just hit me up. He just got to the house, so let that man get ready and get comfortable so we can have a beautiful conversation, as I always do. All right, bet. Okay, that's dope. I can't multitask, so my apologies. But I do be having to check the gram sometimes if I get a message or whatnot. And I'm curious to know your thoughts on the Second Amendment. And I'm curious to know his thoughts on felons owning guns. My thing on that is I don't recall anything in the Constitution that is saying that felons cannot own a gun. I think those are laws that are added after the fact. And the right to bear arms is the right to bear arms. I don't think that delineates between anything, because there's a lot of criminals when the Constitution was being written that was walking around with guns. Thereafter, we don't even want to talk about the Wild Wild West. I do think that there should be exceptions for certain crimes. I'm not going to lie. But generally speaking, I'm okay with there being a time frame between your admission or guilt, or being found guilty, whichever the case is, and you being able to restore your gun rights. But I don't think that a crime should, in 99% of the time, eliminate your ability to defend yourself to the maximum for the rest of your life. It's no reason that because you made a mistake at 25, that at 50 or 60, now you're an older person such as myself, and you don't have the physical strength that you did at 25 to defend yourself. So you're a walking target because you made a mistake 50 years or 35, 40 years ago. That should not follow you that far. You go to the joint, you get out, you're 35 years old. Okay, I give you 5 years. I give you 10 years. However you want to say it. But you should automatically have your rights restored. You should not have to go through a process. You should not have to do anything if you have been crime free for 10 years. You paid your debt to society. If in fact they're going to say that you've paid your debt to society, and that's what they say after you've completed your prison sentence, you did what was required of you for your penance. Things should go back to normal for me. Why in certain areas you can't vote is ridiculous, and why in certain everywhere you can't own a gun is ridiculous. But we'll get into that. Anyway, what's going on with your life, man? Hopefully we can, make your day a little bit better. If you're having a bad day, and if you're having a good day, we can make your shit a little bit doper. And I know I switch that shit up every week and say it a little bit differently, because it is what it is. I am looking for a new background. I got some ideas, but if somebody out there has an idea, I've been rocking with this. I like it, but I've been rocking with this for a long time. Come on, love Malcolm, love Malcolm. University of Michigan sent a shitload of checks there too. My pops actually rest in peace to him, but he painted this. And my middle daughter painted this, and this one is just a random thing that I got hanging up, and I got the red, black, and green flag right here. And you can't really see it right here, but this is the Conscious Olympics flag that I bought some years ago. We did the Conscious Olympics live. But I'm thinking of more, I don't know, a more cohesive, just one piece. I've got a couple of pictures in mind that I was thinking about having framed, getting them blown up pretty large and just having one picture behind me, and getting several of those where I can interchange those as I see fit. But I'd like to have your opinion, your thoughts on that. So if you happen to check this out, let me know what you think about that. And let me check and make sure that Tom is good. Okay. Yeah. Because I did send it to him, so I'm just waiting on him to tap in. And while I'm doing that, the Lizzo shit, I don't know if have you heard about that? Bam! So it's about to run my mouth. The goat taps in. And I don't see a picture though, Tom. What's good, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I don't. You don't have a picture up though. It's just a big
Yeah.
T.
All right. So funny. I had an allergic reaction to something, and it swelled my eye up, man. So like it's bad. So
Oh, bro, you should have told me. We could have just postponed it.
it's all good. Come on, fella.
Huh?
I start. Come on, ain't about nothing. So
Okay. Well, nobody wants to look at my ugly ass for a whole hour, bro. But how you doing, man? Outside of that,
I'm good, man. I'm good. I ain't gonna complain.
oh, hey, bro. Like yeah, you can't tell, bro. Had you not said something, I really would not have known.
Yeah, it just like I wouldn't like I'm real. So
You are a little low though. Can you turn your volume up just a little bit?
yeah,
All right.
better.
Yeah, that's better. All right.
Uh,
So, where do we start, man? What your interest in guns? When did that start?
um, geez, around 18, my grandfather, we used to go every summer we would go down to Concord, Virginia. Uh, my grandfather and my great grandfather and uncle, they used to, they used to go and shoot guns in the yard. So, it kind of started from there. And then, when as soon as I became old enough, I bought my first gun and just been on since.
What was your first gun you bought?
Funny, Ruger P90.
What was wrong with it?
Nothing. Actually, a- so I'm not a big fan of Ruger pistols right now, but I can honestly say those that P series, that P89, P90, P95, 94, those were those were probably one of Ruger's best series they ever came out with.
Okay. All right. So when did you buy your first rifle?
My first rifle came in 2010.
Man, it wasn't too long ago.
Nah, yeah, 2010.
Which do you prefer?
Hmm. I like, pistol. It depends on the situation.
Okay, I got you. So how do you go from that to I want to own a gun store?
So I have a knack for collecting, and I collected firearms for a long time, and my collection habits didn't look good to some people, and I got talked to about it. So I just decided to just go into business for myself. So I went in business back in 2015. My first store was American Patriot Guns and Ammo North, uh, and Surplus Arm came in 2017 uh, when I decided I wanted to have my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I took numerous armorers classes, and then I started going to then I started gunsmith school. Graduated from gunsmith school, took my master's in it, and just wanted my own stuff, and went from there.
Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit. You said somebody talked to you. Was this like just a
Yeah,
personal conversation? Like, baby, I'm tired of this shit. You gotta do
uh,
something with it,
uh,
or
no,
this was
no,
we watching you. We need you to do something different.
yeah. It was one of those.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, my habits did show that trend. However, it kind of wasn't that. It was what it was. That's when I just said, I'm just going business for myself, so it don't even fucking matter at that point.
So, what exactly is required to own a gun store?
Um, Nothing really required. I mean, pretty much fill out the application, go through their long ass background check. After their background check from the application, that's when a long list of things starts to come. Things that you need in place before they issue you a license.
Hmm.
And you know, one of the biggest killers for a lot of people is location, because ATF is big on zoning, and
Okay.
any changes in your zoning, yeah, they're going to be on that. So
So as the population shifts and things, businesses move, schools get built closer, does that mean you have to shut down and move somewhere else?
uh y- you know so one of my friends just recently, um his FFL type it's a type 7, which means he has the ability to manufacture his own stuff. uh I don't know what change came in his zoning, but they went and said something to him, and he had to change to a type 1, which is a retail only. So that's kind of the gist of things. If little things like that come up, yeah, they will come get you just to speak to you, just to get you to change up your stuff. So,
Like I remember I interviewed Mark Chopper,
mhm.
and he was gonna have Chopper Day, and the area that he was gonna have it at found out about it and literally changed the law to prevent him from having Chopper Day. Are you seeing shit like that?
So I personally haven't. As far as the chopper day thing goes, um, I've I've attended one before. Uh, it was in a residential area. If you're being technical on how a range is developed,
Mm-hmm.
there were a few things that you know were not in place.
Okay.
Like I believe you said the what you call it is stands. They were too close to the house.
Okay.
The berm wasn't high enough, and you know, believe it or not, like I said, there in a residential neighborhood, I mean, you had 900 cars parked in somebody's fucking yard. Like, so,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got you on that one. So you went to gunsmith school.
mhm.
Is that teaching you how to build a gun?
No, I mean, working on guns. Period. Learning about guns inside out, and I mean, you know, any real gunsmith. We actually had actual regular courses too, like math, uh, you know, math, physics, things like that. Um, Believe it or not, all that stuff is involved with making a gun. And where some people got it fucked up, where we go to YouTube and we just learn, oh, put a fucking gun together. It doesn't work that way, you know. So you learn things like ballistics, reloading. Then they teach you about the business, things like that. Excuse me, 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I've never even heard of. I'm just a regular ass nigga. I've never even heard of a gunsmith, let
Yeah,
alone a class.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just a regular ass Joe. Like
yeah.
I'm
You
just.
got you got one Sonoran Desert Institute, um, Modern Gun School, which is one that seems like a lot of people are attending now because it's the lower priced one.
Hmm.
I don't know what year they were established. Uh, Pennsylvania Gunsmith School,
So any black owned gunsmith schools?
no, not that I know of.
Okay. What does it take to be to have a gunsmith school? Do you know?
Nah, you know what? There's I come across a lot of guys who work on guns, and you know I assist them with put people on some free gaming, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause like I said, I'm very big on don't go to YouTube. Just being real. YouTube draws a map, but that's about it. It gives you the basics of you know what goes here, what goes there. But learning how a gun operates is a totally different thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There is math and physics behind that. How a gun should operate. Um, Perfect example is like I have my own brand of guns,
Do
and
you?
yes, and a lot of people talk about how my guns have no recoil, and the one gun that got a little bit of attention, I have this 5.56. First of all, 5.56 shorter than 10.5 inches to me makes no sense. That's just me.
Okay.
But
Why?
because ballistically, ballistically, to get full use of that round,
Mm-hmm.
you need at least that
Okay.
to full burn and twist for to get the correct ballistics out of that gun. Um, I made one with a 5-inch barrel. I mean, this thing was tiny, and everybody that's seen it, they were like, "Man, dude, this thing looks like it's gonna be the most violent gun I've ever shot." And they're shooting, and they're like, "Dude, this thing's not moving." And How did you do that? And I'm like, yeah, it was a lot of thinking behind it. A lot of little thinking. Um, I'm very specific with I'm very specific with certain parts of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very specific with uh, like as far as AR-15s go, they're gas operated, so I'm very specific with gas port sizes, things like that. That's just how I roll because I needed to function a certain way, and if it doesn't
Okay.
function that way, then I can't use it.
So you want to build a gun. What is the first component that you consider?
Um, one of 'em, as far as what kind, I guess depending the platform.
Let's say a pistol.
Okay, a pistol. Um, I'm building a pistol. Again, which platform am I using? Uh, am I doing like a striker fire, things like that? So you go off the base, which is your frame,
Mm-hmm.
your main part, your serialized part, whatever. After that, you consider me. I would sit back and consider what I want done because a lot of people go off looks. Oh, this piece looks cool. This piece looks great. Well, for instance, I'll use an example of all right slides, which are the top part of the pistol.
Okay.
Okay, uh, at one point you saw a lot of slides that had cuts in them, which essentially make the slide move. It moves quicker because what you're doing is you're reducing weight. Well, when you're buying things like that, some guys will buy like the slide, then they'll buy like a regular Glock or Sig or whatever parts kit to you know to work it. And thing is, you have a reduced weight slide. You need heavier springs to make that thing move,
Okay.
the correct way. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna get double feeds, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
It's kind of like a DJ puts a quarter on a needle for a turntable when
absolutely,
you really only need a dime.
absolutely,
Okay, I got you.
absolutely. So you know, so
So
it's
what's the name
basic.
of your gun that you made?
So we go by the brand Surplus Arm. Um, we have our models are the CC15, the 24 290, the X Duty, uh, 24 334. So let me see, the 24, geez, the 1101, the
Damn, you didn't build the whole.
yeah, like so.
What
Believe
they
so.
shooting? I mean, what type of bullets we shooting?
I mean, I have all different calibers from 9 millimeter up to 6.5 Creedmoor. There was a lot of guns I discontinued because I personally didn't like them, and you know, so on and so forth. I'm one of my own biggest critics.
Okay.
When it comes, and if I don't like it, I don't put something out there just to have something out there, and because at the end of the day, my name is riding on it. You know what I mean? So if I wasn't a fan of it, I'd take it away.
So you got white boy snipers in Alabama calling you up, like what, like asking for advice.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I get a lot of people who ask for advice, ask a lot of
Okay. How many black-owned gun stores are there? I think I saw like in Pennsylvania alone, maybe like four.
it's a little more than that. Um, Believe it or not, after 2020,
Mm-hmm.
there's been a lot of black-owned stores, just appear. Before then, there were some, but not many.
Okay.
You know, um, I can count on my hands who my OGs were. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I give them their respect and flowers all the time. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those. I shout them out. When it comes to some of the newer guys, you know, it's kind of subjective. I
Mm-hmm.
look at how they move
Okay.
because it just seems that a lot of people came out of the woodwork when COVID hit and thought it was this great thing that sell guns or do firearms training or whatever. People are looking at it from the money side and missing the big picture. So, you know, I've seen things like misinformation or, folks really don't who really don't walk it,
Just
but
talk shit.
just talking shit and it because they're just looking at the fucking money. And unfortunately you got those who will follow them because, you know, it's like it's the blind's leading the blind. And then, if somebody like myself says something about it, then all of a sudden I'm hating. I don't have to hate. I've been around long before you and I'll be around long after you. That's for damn sure. So, you
So,
know,
what's the biggest piece of misinformation that you see out there?
believe it or not, right now, nothing. It honestly, it sounds like everybody's regurgitating the same shit. The shit I've been saying, forever. We're starting to hear people say now. Before it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. You know, like when it comes to first time gun buyers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, before all this, first time gun buyers, it'd be somebody leave a post somewhere or ask it, and then everybody who thinks they knows anything about fucking guns has some kind of fucking answer. Now it ain't that. Now it's, oh well, how does it feel to the person and all this shit. Y'all wasn't saying that shit before. Y'all weren't doing all that.
So, it's a good thing then.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So, you know, things with like firearms instruction is where you start to see things. You know, it seems like nobody's original anymore. Everybody's doing the same shit. Um, the other thing is, when it comes to if you're teaching people how to use these things, basically speaking, be there to answer them fully. Be able to answer them if they ask you the question why. Because there's nothing like it when you ask someone something and they can't fucking answer it for you. But meanwhile, they're telling you this, that, and the third. So you know, be ready to answer questions and also be ready for liability because you are liable for everything that you teach somebody.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. If if let's just say I had a course and the so-called student has a bad shoot or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we could be subpoenaed to come to court because they're gonna ask, if they ask that person if that person's had any training, that person says yes, they're gonna ask who trained you, then they're gonna bring me in and ask me, you know, about my credentials. Where am I getting my information from? And so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to be ready to face those consequences as well. That's why we try to be the best informed and also, just be honest just be honest to people. If I don't know something, I know how to say I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
If I do know something, I stay current with the laws. You have to stay current with laws. Um, right now, the big thing out here, New Jersey license to carry. We were probably one of the first out of state companies doing it, that I know of. And all of a sudden, everybody decided to follow suit. And one of the biggest questions that used to come to me was, well, what do you do? What do you need? Um, what's the curriculum? And me personally, at first, I had no problem sharing. I had no problem sharing at first. But now I'm at the point where I do. So I tell them, and so I wouldn't tell them anything. And the only reason why I wouldn't tell them anything was Mostly because we took the time and did the legwork, and we searched and we looked up, we spoke to people. We got in with some New Jersey State Police, and from some of the smaller boroughs or whatever they call them in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and we took the time to get in with them.
Okay.
And with that being said, it is what it is. So if I can turn around and do all of that, you
Why
could do the
can't you?
same thing. Don't call me asking me, especially guys out of guys who knew me well, see me, never speak to me, and now all of a sudden you see I'm doing that. Now all of a sudden, I'm your fucking friend. Oh,
I feel you on that. Let me ask you this. So you do firearms instruction too?
yes,
Okay, so have you ever come across somebody that legally checked all the boxes and legally they are able to own a firearm, but practically they were just a horrible student and you really didn't want them shooting anything?
I've come across who just I've come across those who have trouble with training. And the thing is, we just keep back at it. You get into a level, you let them know what they need to build on, and what to stay away from. Uh, for instance, just recently, we had a guy come out to a class. Um, he didn't know much about guns, which he did admit. The way he held a gun, I said, "You shot a gun before, didn't you?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Who showed you how to shoot a gun?" He was like, well, it's what I saw on TV. I went to the range once, and this is what I seen on TV."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know, it is what it is. The younger guys, they get a lot of that stuff they do from the videos, the movies, things like that. And guys are like the hardest to break. With bad habits, they are the
Yeah.
hardest.
Yeah.
Um, women are easy. Women, you normally show a woman one time, and she's good. Some of them take a little bit longer, but not as long. And a lot of times, like, it's kind of funny. We'll have like the husband and wife there or whatever, and you turn around and tell them, yeah, she's gonna end up shooting better than you before the end of the day, and it always happens.
You know what I find is that women appreciate the power
Hmm.
and men want to own it.
Hmm. They want to own it, and with no real understanding of it.
Exactly. They think we think we know shit.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell us that we don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially when it comes to purchasing. You'll have the couple that comes in, and the guy, he's bought one gun, and all of a sudden he is the encyclopedia. He's sitting there talking about what she needs and all this shit. And then you know, one thing about us in our shop, we're like a different environment, and and basically how some describe it is like being in a barber shop. All right, so we have no problem playing you the fuck out to the point where the woman's looking at you sideways, like, damn, like you said you know all this, and you know what I mean. They making you look stupid in here, and it ain't intentional, but at the same time, it's that yo, dude, simmer the fuck down because you still got a lot to know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. All right. So I'm watching a live stream by official Black Guns Matter, and the topic of it is why is the Second Amendment dying? Do you think that it's dying, or is this just a regurgitated fear amongst gun owners that has yet to surface?
That's a that's a tough question to answer. You know, I don't see it dying. I see all kinds of attacks on the gun industry. Period. Um, through social media. Social media, what they do is a lot of the gun pages. They'll shadow ban them, things like that. Put you on 15, 30-day blocks, shit like that. Um, so through social media is one way, and then the news itself. every single time, like a lot of these CNN's one, every single time you see anything that has to do with shooting, you know what I mean? They demonize it. And it's like, you know, it's more to it than that. And the one thing I don't like, as far as media goes, is, one big thing they talk about is shit like mass shootings.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up the definition of mass shootings, uh, if it hasn't changed, I think it's two or more persons injured in some kind of, you know, in a firearm attack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's world news when it's in, you know, the clear, in the clear area, and in ours it happens damn near every day. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. Then you're bringing up guns like the AR-15. The AR-15, if you look it up, what was used in a lot of these mass shootings, AR-15 wasn't one of them. Okay, more mass shootings are done with handguns. You know, my whole thing is this. When it comes to us who, you know, who do carry guns legally and all, just stay educated and trained. Because if you don't, you do something stupid, it makes everybody look bad as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I saw. I don't know. I think it was the Pew. Yeah, let me see. The Pew Research Center said that basically about 25% of black folks own guns. How high does that number have to be before they really make changes to the gun laws?
Oh man, they doing that shit now. So you know, black and brown, all of a sudden, now we got all these gun legislations. Now, don't get it fucked up. They were there before. They were there before that. You know, uh, few came in through Obama, few came in through Trump prior to COVID. But now, with the surge of black people, especially black women, now it's like every day it's something. So, but Second Amendment's been under attack, man, since fucking '80s, probably before then. So every generation has seen something.
Okay, is there such thing as too many guns?
No, never, never, never.
See that one I would disagree. Like I don't know how many. It was like 50 guns for every gun owner. Not realistically, but whatever the number is. How many guns does one per? I went over to this dude's house and he had a whole room full of guns. Like literally.
Every
You don't need that. You don't need 100
so
guns.
I would make you sick. Then I'd make you fucking throw up. You know, I got over 20 years worth of guns, and I am in the thousands.
Really?
Mm-hmm. With fire, but counting that's counting like things like silencers and things like that. I am into the thousands.
Yo, like how, the maintenance on that alone has got to be ridiculous.
Oh man, I got stuff I ain't touched in years, man. But it's just there. It's good to know I have it. You know, um, I'm kind of like a unique collector. I like unique things, but most of the stuff that you touch has its own characteristic. So me, like back then, I was just buying shit to buy shit. But then, as I started learning the actual mechanics, the metallurgy, and things like that of guns. That's when I started being picky on what I buy.
Okay.
You know? So,
What's the most unique gun you own?
hmm, hmm, that's a good question. Um, Probably because they're harder to get. I have a G36 and I have a UMP. So those are hard to get. Those are made by HK.
Okay, like the only G36 I've ever, and I'm no gunologist by any stretch of the imagination, but I play Call of Duty a shitload, and there was a G36 on Call of Duty. Are we talking about the same one? You got one of those? Gee, oh, that's fucking dope. That is dope. I know I sound like a big ass kid,
It's
but
actually, it's
that's
actually,
crazy.
that's, believe it or not, on the flyer that you posted, the flyer that you posted for me, the red pick, that's a G36.
So, what's the recoil on that?
None.
Yeah, because it's not really any on on the game either. Like that's one of the ones that you like get and you keep.
No. Got a good,
Yo,
got a, got a great cyclic rate, things like that, man. You know, so
should felons be allowed to carry guns?
kind of subjective. So I'm gonna bring this from a different point of view.
Okay.
All right, I spent 15 years as law enforcement, and and I've been around long enough where I've seen guys go away and come back, and they are completely different. And I'm talking about completely different, like, whole lifestyle change, everything. And you know what? Being real with you, there is felons do have a way to have their rights restored. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They do have ways to get their rights restored. You get a lot of them who walk around and swear, "Oh, it's over for me." That's not true. You know what I mean? You got years, not in trouble, and you got this, that, and the third going on. Start doing things like getting pardons, man. Get your pardons. Um, you know,
That's extremely difficult to get a pardon.
actually, we've been putting people on in PA left and right. So we are up to 23 people who have been pardoned.
Mm-hmm.
We put them on game how to get pardoned and all, and they get their pardon, come and get their first gun from us. We're up to 23 people right now.
So is it like a class you teach on that, or is it like
No, we don't teach the class. We just give them the steps, and they do it, and they bout it, and
why
most
not
people,
though? Why not teach a class?
because me personally, I just send them to the sources.
Okay.
I send them to the sources. I'm not the source. I'd rather send it to somebody. And believe it or not, our source is actually he's not just teaching it. He's also a client. How about that? So he is the subject matter expert. He will put people out. He'll put people out there.
But
You
that's
know,
just for PA.
as far as PA, yes.
Okay. All right.
So
Does he have the? Do you know if he has counterparts that he's familiar with in other
um,
states?
I'm not sure, but I can ask him. I definitely can
Yeah.
ask him.
Because if there's not a network out there to facilitate that, there should be. Because me personally, I feel like, and let me be clear. And I was saying this before you got on, but okay, there are if you do something to kids, fuck you. I don't
Yeah,
really care.
absolutely.
There's certain things that should yes, you should be eliminated. But for the most part, I'd say 90% of crimes, if for 5, 10 years you are crime free, there shouldn't be a process. You should
Right.
automatically be able to just go back to being A1 citizen, so to
Well,
speak.
and the crazy part is you got a lot of folks who believe that already. Like, we've had people who've come in, try to purchase guns and get denied. And I'll give a real good example. We had a guy come in, an older guy, he had to be in his 70s. He came in, he tried to buy a gun, and he was denied. So one thing about me, I ask questions. I'm not going to judge anybody. I ask questions because I'm like, if it's something stupid, and we can help you on it. That's what we're gonna do. So the guy, I asked the guy, has he ever been arrested before? Has and the guy said, yeah, I was arrested, but he said, I don't understand how it came up. I thought I'd be good. That was 50 years ago. It was like in the 60s. He got locked up for a bag of weed, and I'm like, so one thing you got to explain to people is no matter how much time goes by, it's on your record. It never goes away. So you will have to get it pardoned, or not everything needs to be pardoned, or you know pardoned or expunged.
Right.
So,
Damn, for a bag of weed though.
yep,
And see, that's unfair to that population.
it
Like
is.
I'm getting there. Where I'm not the same guy I was 25 years ago. You want to square up? Let's go. Now I'm over 50. Like squaring up with somebody 50, yeah, let's go. But squaring up with somebody 25, I'd rather shoot you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
should have that right. If I made a mistake at 25, and I don't care if I went to the pen or not. Let's say I did 10 years. I get out at 35. I'm 51 years old. I ain't did shit for what is that, out of 15 years?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and then as far as it's weird because it's like as far as our folks, it's always like a lot of dumb shit too. Like I know in PA, the one thing in PA, like you could do, you can do some of the goofiest shit, and after so long, you can get it expunged and you're good, and you get arrested for drugs. Drugs is like the end for you. You got to get that pardon.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys like my age and younger, that's what they're getting popped for. Drugs, and then they got to go through the whole pardoning phase because of drugs. But then there's another one that's fucking people up too, shoplifting, which
Really?
yeah, I like, me personally, I don't have respect for it, people. You know what I mean? No way,
It
shape,
depends on what you're stealing.
and why. Okay,
Like, no,
and why?
well, if you stealing a Monet, I respect you. I do. The,
I
the
feel
the
you.
the
I feel
time, the discipline, the effort that it takes to break into a museum, some real shit. That's some movie
I
shit.
feel you.
If you stealing, I've seen somebody get caught for stealing a box of cigarettes, and you weren't even stealing fucking Newports. You're stealing some fucking $2 cigarettes. Even the judge was like, "Why would you risk your freedom for some cheap cigarettes? Get
Yeah,
the good ones."
yeah.
That type of shit is goofy. But if you're hungry and you're trying to steal, a pack of hot dogs, that's a different beast too.
So that's where the why came in for me,
Yeah.
because when I was a cop, man, there was this little young dude, man. They used to lock him up all the time, man. And I watched this dude grow. When I first started, this dude was probably in second grade, and just over the years, watching this dude get locked up. I lived in the same neighborhood as him. I actually liked the dude, and I pulled him to the side one day, and I said, "Why is it that they always locking you up, and it's always got something to do with you stealing shit?" So he broke it down to me why. Dude, his mother and father had passed. He was living with his aunt, and dude was hell on earth. I mean, there's been plenty of times we had to go get him from his aunt's house because he was out of control. And she pretty much let him run amok. He's running the street, no money, no job or anything. So he was diabetic. And what happened was he when sugar was getting low or whatever, that's what they was catching him stealing dumb shit. You know, shit that he was stealing to keep his sugar up and things like that. And I remember I lived in the same neighborhood as him. I was like, man, look, you know, It's shit I can get done around my house, man. You could do this shit. And people used to look at me like I was crazy. Like, you trust that motherfucker? Yeah, I will. Because you already know what it is. Dude used to cut my grass and all kind of shit. And, I give him his little money and shit. Well, one particular night, I we got called for a theft at a store. And number one, personally, when it comes to thefts from the store, I mean, I know this. They got insurance. Okay, that's what their insurance is for. So ain't really much we can do if the person ain't still there. Ain't nobody going out looking for them. And I
Right.
damn sure wasn't writing no goddamn reports and shit over no stupid shit. But I went to this one particular store, and the dude is showing me the video, and it's the same dude I was just talking about. So I'm looking, and I'm like, he's on the video stealing Pampers, and I'm like, he don't even got kids. Like, what the fuck? So I looked and I asked the clerk. I said, "Hey, is that such and such?" So now he looked like he was scared to say yes or no. I'm like, "Listen, ain't even on that type time. Is that such and such?" So he looked at me and said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, listen. I'm going to rectify this. I'm not locking him up. I'm going to rectify this. I'll be right back." I went outside on the block where all his folks and stuff be. I went outside and said, "Yo, tell them I need him to holler at me ASAP." Sure enough, they did, man. 20 minutes later, because I gave my phone number out. 20 minutes later, I got a phone call from him saying he's standing in front of the store. And when I got face to face, I asked him, I said, "Yo, what you do tonight?" And he was like, "I ain't do nothing." I said, "You did something because I'm standing in front of this same store. You know what it's about." So he broke it down. He said, "Man, he was in the store, and there was a girl in there, and she needed Pampers. She didn't have enough money for Pampers. So he told her just give her what she had, and he'll get them for it." So she said, "All right." So he went in and took the Pampers for it, on some Robin Hood shit. So I told him, I said, "All right, man." I said, "That's cool and all, but you can't do that." So I said, "This is what I want you to do." I said, he wants me to lock you up. I told him I'm not doing that. But we gotta rectify this with him somehow. Long story short, he ended up working for him. He ended up working for him till he ended up getting killed. He got killed about a month or so later.
Damn.
So you know what I mean?
Yo. And man, like I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Um, we don't like the police,
Mm-mm.
and
No,
and our opinion of black cops is even lower than the white cops,
yeah.
which I'm gonna be from my experience is as earned.
It was funny here. Because I'm not working no more, I actually get more flack from the people that I don't work anymore than anything else. And even like a lot of the younger guys, I approach things different.
Okay.
And a lot of the younger guys used to respect that, man. They would sit out there, we'd talk for days. I mean, I remember this one beat I used to work in. We had two projects right across the street from each other. Used to shoot at each other all crazy. And I had a habit of, I was like, "Yo, there's a store though that was on the one side, and the store was like mutual ground where
Okay.
everybody go because the owner wasn't having this shit." So I would go sit in there all the time, man. Yo, man, we be in the air early in the morning talking about sports, everything. You know what I mean? And it was like, to me, it was like standing around with a bunch of my boys, and they totally forgot I was the police. You know what
So
I mean?
why'd you stop?
Yo, uh, being real, got tired of a lot of things, a lot of bullshit, and I almost punched on another officer who
Okay.
was friends with our commissioner. And I was like, all I know is he's gonna go up there, say I threatened him or some shit. Then next thing you know, They locked me up because I told them to meet me in the locker room one night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yo, that's I can't even imagine, bro.
yeah, so it was best. It was best for me to walk away because I know a lot of those guys used to be like, "Yo, why is it that you sit out? Yo, these guys are shitheads. Why you out there talking to them?" Yeah, because you got to understand them. If you don't understand them, you'll never know what's going on. So y'all keep doing things the way y'all do it. I'll do things the way I do it.
That didn't go over well with the white boys. I'm certain.
No, ain't like that at all.
Yeah, they it's a us against them mentality for them.
I remember being told one time, we had this family. We had this family. All the sons was fucking bad, man. All of them. I mean, these dudes used to shoot and every fucking thing. And I remember I had a call at the neighbor's house, over at their neighbor's house, and I was done with that. And the mom was standing there, and the mom said, "Yeah, can you come here for a second?" And she let me in the house, and all the sons was sitting in there, and they was all just standing there laughing. They was like, "Yo, you the only cop that's ever been in this house that didn't keep the door now." We had a laugh about that shit. So
Yo, I gotta admit though, man, like when you talk about policing, your energy changed.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's some things I miss, but there's a lot of shit I don't miss. So
How can we develop our own police force? Is that possible?
actually, it is. I had somebody look that up one time, how to start a police department, and like he was dead serious. He did all this research on it. I never asked him what was entailed with it, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, believe it or not, it can be done.
Like I know some organizations that do community policing,
Hmm.
but it's not like on an official nature. But they do have a relationship with the police,
Hmm.
whereas I don't know how it works, but they're looked upon a little bit different. It's not like vigilante type shit. They're not going
Yeah, I
out and
know
do,
exactly what you're
you know what
saying.
I'm saying? But like at some point, we're going to have to be more aggressive in how we discipline those in our neighborhoods
Yeah, for
because this
sure.
shit getting out of hand.
Yeah, I agree. But my whole thing is too, man. You gotta watch some of these fucking, some of our own who doing the most too. You know, you know, we had a there was a lot of guys same complexion I didn't fuck with because y'all was on that type time. You know,
Yeah.
quite a
It's-
few of them. So
I was watching that Clone Tyrone movie,
yeah, I saw that just the other day.
and the interesting thing was who they were cloning. They weren't cloning everybody. They were cloning those that were prominent in the fuckery, that were successful in the fuckery, the leaders. And that speaks volumes on the one hand. On the other hand, just like the government figured out a long time ago that to successfully cripple our neighborhoods, the criminal industry had to be crippled because there were leaders. Like when you look at some of these gangs, the brothers that started these gangs
Hmm.
were top tier leaders.
Hmm.
They just chose to lead some fuckery,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they enabled discipline in their organizations,
Yeah.
and they kept them. If you're gonna have a criminal element, which you are going to have, I don't care what society you're in, there's going to be some crime. When you have crime that has rules and order with amongst themselves, and they just doing shit amongst the criminal element, I don't really care about that. Y'all killing each other, go kill each other. That's the life you chose. I'm cool with that. Long as you ain't killing moms and pops that ain't got shit to do with that.
Yeah.
But when you take the head off the snake, and that head is such a dominant figure, not every man for himself, and that's when you have anarchy amongst the streets. And they
Yeah.
knew that shit, and that's what they've been doing for years.
Yep.
You know.
Absolutely.
And I ain't gonna hold you up too long,
No,
but
you good.
as far as gun ownerships, what is your biggest piece of advice?
I mean, do your homework and train. Stay constant with all the laws that's changing. Stay up with that. Um, when you're doing your research or your training, check the reputations of people. Um, that way you don't get caught in the fuckboy circle. You know. Other than that, man, stay educated. Stay educated. And that's it.
Who you calling when you need some gun advice?
When it comes to what kind of gun advice?
Whatever kind you feel like you need. Whoever you feel like you want to give them their flowers right now.
Uh, there's certain things. So, uh, Body by O is one of them. Okay, you know,
Mm-hmm.
he's one of he's been a good friend of mine for a couple of years. He actually has a signature line with us. Um, so Body by O is one of them. Uh, you know, people that spread the people that spread the word. The guy who hooked us up, Black Owned Guns.
It's my guy.
You know what I mean? Him, and the other page, Guns and Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, they what they do is they spread that awareness out there. They take shit from everybody else and put it out there like, yo, look, this is what's going on. And it's always the positive shit. They ain't never no negative shit. And I fuck with them. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people I could shout out right now.
And it's definitely a lane that, as far as podcasts go, I don't see too many podcasts really approaching the subject. So I try to make sure that
Actually, so me and a partner of mine, Keezy, we do a show every Wednesday on IG Live. I think we're thinking about switching over to this platform because I'm actually a regular on another show on this platform, the Tactical Turkeys.
okay.
Uh, that comes on every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, and you know,
Damn, they doing 3 shows a week.
yeah. And me, I've been I came on there a few times, and then they just asked me to be a regular on there. So, now I'm a regular on there. So I'm on there every Tuesday.
Yo, that's crazy. I can't imagine doing 3 shows a week.
Yeah, they do. Well, shit, Lord Jamar is what damn near every day. You
Lord
never,
Jamar, I don't think has a. I think that is his job.
nah. So I know Lord Jamar person. We training. He's been
Really?
yeah, he's been training with me the last 3 years, 3 4 years.
Huh.
Um, wait, yeah, three. Wait, when we meet him, Memorial Day of 2020. Yeah, Memorial Day of 2020 is when I met him. Dude gave me a call one night. He gave me a call one night. Memorial Day, he stopped through, and he's been around ever since. But nah, he's still doing touring. He's still touring and doing shows and shit. But he gets his time in the train. You bring up something about training, he right there.
I'm not mad at that. You know who I really trying to fuck with is Twister.
Yeah. Oh, Twister. Yeah, another one. Another solid motherfucker.
Yeah, your boy, like he is turned into a heavy gun advocate.
Mm-hmm. He's
Like
got a nice collection,
I'm
and
trying
the
to think.
guy and the guys that he's around, they call themselves the gun camp. The gun camp guys, all of them cool as shit.
Yes,
I
yeah.
was I was just with all of them on shit. What was that? We were with them last month, Father's Day weekend.
Tell your mans, man, fuck with me, man.
Who's
I done
that?
had Twister. I done
Twister.
had Black Gun Owners on. I done had Jay the Shooter on. I've had you on. I've had geez, what is that? Grandmaster Jay, free that man. Jeez, not the Huey P. Newton. Fred Hampton Gun Club on.
Yeah,
You know, I've tried to make a concerted effort because this is just a lane that I feel like is just we need to make sure it stays open.
for sure.
Black folks need to have, we need to, the reason that certain things happen, like Tulsa and you can go down the list, is that we didn't adequately fight back.
Uh, the one thing I see a lot of, man, you know, even with this shit, man, they still got that fucking crab in a barrel mentality. You know, all the little fighting and shit amongst. That's why I said, man, I just I deal with who I deal with and let it be, man. You know, because it's like we don't stick with nothing. You know what I mean? So
I would agree with you wholeheartedly, and some people make it more difficult than others.
mhm.
And I'm not going to absolve myself of. I've done fuckery shit too back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, I went through. We've had a lot of people around us, a whole lot, and you know what? Honestly, had to dissolve that, man. You just had a lot. People want to be around us because we know everybody, and we got access to this and that and the third, and basically speaking, man, I just started eliminating people one by one because I'm like, man, I ain't got time for the fuckboy shit. You're not gonna sit here and build off of me and then turn around and say fuck me later, you know. So cut everybody.
Yeah.
So
And you know what? You didn't cut anybody. They cut themselves.
mhm,
You just sped up the process.
mhm,
I hate when people say that because that's taking ownership of some shit that you really don't have to own. Typically speaking, people, it's like when people get fired at work for being late.
mhm.
They'll blame everybody else. Nigga, you
They
was late
blame
300
everybody,
times a week.
everything but them. So
Exactly. You got yourself fired, bro.
mhm.
If there's anything possible that I could ever do for you, man, don't hesitate to let me know, and I
Oh,
got you.
same here,
You
same
know,
here.
definitely appreciate everything you doing, man. And if don't nobody else tell you, bro, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man.
No doubt, man.
Thank you.
This has been a dope conversation, man. You definitely have to, I know you got a lot of shit going on. Like, you definitely have to come back, man. And one of these days, what I
It's
want to
funny
do,
because that's still this has become like a every night thing. Sitting on somebody's shit. So
it ain't tiring.
nah, not really.
Oh, nigga, I get that. Sometimes I don't feel like doing the shit, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
Not really because I mean it almost started off at first like an interview where it's like, all right, what am I gonna say about that? To at some point like tonight, I'm sitting here now I'm just saying whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, all right, it's like having a regular conversation with somebody. So
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not the, I like to ask questions that I want to know. And if other
yeah.
people benefit from that shit, that's cool.
Mhm.
But at this point, like, I've had so many interesting, dope motherfuckers on the show that I just, like I kind of do it for me.
Yeah, so you had Theo Huxtable on.
Yo, that was fucking crazy, man. Yo, that was, that was crazy.
Get him back
And,
on.
yo, the wild things, like the next morning, man, this nigga text me at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, look, baby, Theo texted me. Look.
Yeah, get him back on. I got a question. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride, man. That was one for the ages right there.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. Like I say, man, if you ever need anything, bro, don't hesitate. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna inbox you my number in case you need anything.
All right.
All
All
right,
right, for
man.
sure. I don't know why I thought I gave you mine already.
That's okay, man. I appreciate your time, your energy, and your wisdom, bro. And keep doing what you're doing, man. We absolutely need you.
Thank you, man.
You know, you keep make a couple more stores, man. We the next state over, man. Come to Ohio.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So,
Anything I can do, I got you.
all right, then appreciate that, man.
No doubt, man. You have a good one, bro.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Yo, very, very, very interesting conversation, man. And you will not find too many brothers that own their own gun store. Yeah, yo. So if you get a chance, UMPA, go check out Surplus Army. Look them up. That's SURPLUSARME. And I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Surplus Arm. And make sure you get out there and support them. Wow, so that's pretty dope. Anyway, man, you already know, man, this is your boy Jobs, and you've been tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. I got to shout out the home team, man, Nerve DJs Radio. Shout out DJ Johnny O. Shout out Big Health. I got to shout out DJ Squirt and my guy T-Rex. I couldn't even get that shit out. Next week, I got Kamal Hassan at 7 p.m. Yo, my man is killing the game acting right now. And I got my man T-Rex is everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. Oh, and Wednesday, Rapper Red. Shout out to Mikey with the plug. That should be an interesting one right there, too. On that note, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one. Peace.